Alright guys, we are closing in on the final of this series, and trust me when I say, this issue is massive. Old friends collide, old enemies become way too dangerous to reason with, and a new hero has to decide whether they will rise to the mantle or let the entire city burn. Every choice in this comes with consequences, and I'm here for all of the chaos. Welcome back to Keepin' It Comic, and today we're diving into Daredevil Cold Day in Hell issue number 3. Now look, the city is still in chaos from everything that's happened in the past 2 issues. And we have WNYC, it's a radio station right now, who's talking about reports coming in from all over Manhattan Island about a man above Manhattan swinging on a line between the skyscrapers. And they want to know, who is this person? And why would anyone do something so dangerous? Whoever it is, he's dressed in all red, bright red, impossible to miss. He wants to be seen. Anyone listening is probably thinking about the same thing right now. We've all been keeping our eyes on the ground for so long. Maybe this mystery man's saying, it's time to look up. And what do we have here? We got our boy Punisher still tied on the wall, being a test subject, and we have the little girl who Steve Rogers died to save in this weird contraption of a machine. And Bullseye says, that's him, boys, flopping around in that suit of his. Like he's a red flag and I'm a bull. Calling me out, I aim to answer. His lackey says, Bullseye, boss. And he says, don't make me laugh. This is delicate business. Got some potent medicine here. Been saving it up for a time when I gotta be my very best self. Oh yeah, steady as a drum. And his lackey says, boss, that's a lot of... The come down's gonna be pretty harsh. You sure you... And Bullseye gives him this look and says, steady as a surgeon. Get the crew, get the gear. It's time. Go on ahead. I'll catch up. We didn't get to see this contraption a little more in depth as Bullseye's having a conversation with this girl. And he says, hey kid, I don't say it enough, but I'm proud of you. Happy for you. You're going places, Tyra. And she says, yeah? I think you're a damn psycho. Let me out of this thing. And he says, trust me, you're safer where you are. Sit tight. I want to show you something. Nice, huh? And we see this big clunky thing that looks like the prototype for the Iron Man machine. And he says, use this stuff when the shakes first came on. And by the way, I like the new setup of the Captain America shield. It's really on point. But he says, before they got too bad, that was a long time ago. Damn shakes. I got a fondness for this old thing in particular. Connects with your noodle. You think something? It does it. Old school tech. Don't make them like this no more. Just like us. Huh, Frank? Actually, you know, yeah. And he hits a lever. And for some dumb reason, because every villain does something stupid, he decides to let Frank off of the wall. And he goes, wish I had time to play, Castle. Too much on my plate. Busy, busy, busy. And as he walks right over Frank, he says, that said, it's nice to see you up and about again, Frank. You go ahead and have yourself a little fun, all right? You deserve it. So as he goes in a hallway with all his lackeys there, he hands them the shotgun and the bag, and he's like, yo, let's go. And he says, rest of you, get in there. Left you a job to do. Punisher's off the wall. And you can see Punisher's crawling right towards that machine. Eventually, he puts one of the wires in his mouth and stabs himself in the shoulder. And then the rest of the wires of the machine start to ravel around him and slowly pull him into the machine. And then it just falls forward onto the ground. And all the goons come in like, all right, stay sharp. Where'd Mr. Nubbs get to? And another says, cut that out. Man's a veteran, deserves some respect. And he looks at Punisher and says, there you are. Want you to know, I never felt too good about what Bullseye was doing to your castle. Glad I get the chance to put you out of your misery. And another lackey says, Bullseye put him in that contraption? And Tyra responds, nah, he did it all by himself. Pretty amazing. He's gonna figure out how to use that suit. Bet you $1. And when he does, you guys are. And just then, the suit starts to get up, and the one that wanted to put Frank out of his misery, he's like, hey man, no need to, whatever you want, we can get you. Just say the word. And Frank looks possessed. He grabs him by his throat while another jumps on the machine. Another lackey shooting at him. And he's like, oh shoot. And Tyra says, yeah, as Frank crushes the guy he was holding by the neck. And she says, see what you get? And Frank is not taking any BS. She says, told you he'd figure it out. And the guy that was shooting at him, he legit breaks the gun while his fingers are still in it. And she says, someone owes me $1. And the guy's begging, please, please don't. And Frank grabs him by his face and says, it's been too long. And he crushes his skull. Tyra says, listen, you gotta get the other guy too. He's the worst. I know where he went. I heard his guys talking about it when they kidnapped me. I can show you. We can go together. And that's all Frank had to hear, and he broke that contraption. She says, can't believe I'm out of this thing. I thought I was dead. Or maybe worse. Thank you, Mr. Castle. And as he lifts her head up, you can see the look of pain and sympathy he has for her. But meanwhile, Daredevil's still going through it. See, he's in the city looking for Bullseye right now. He says New York is a predator. I can hear it. Stalking, feeding, digesting. Worse now than it ever was in the old days. So many people turning their fear into other people's pain. Bullseye's bombs are the priority. I have to find them while I still can, while I still have these senses. But there are so many other ways I can help while I still can. Corner of 49th and 6. A man's going to die. Broad daylight and no one's even looking. I can, not now. Come back. The power's not fading. Cutting in and out. Didn't expect that. If I don't move fast, it'll be over. And just like he said, that guy got shot right there. And he's like, I didn't hear a thing. What is that? Power transformers coming online? Big ones? But what would need that much? And just then, Bullseye comes all over the TV screens and all over the billboards. Hello, New York City. It's been a bit. I hope you haven't forgotten me. I think about you all the time. But for the younger crowd, allow me to introduce myself. Remember? No, you probably don't. I mean, this whole town looks like a damn war zone. Used to be. We'd rebuild. No matter how much we lost, no matter how bad it got, we'd put it back together. So we'd be ready for the next thing. And when that came, a noble few would fight. And most of you would watch. Some of the fighters and a lot of the watchers would die. Some would live, a little different each time. Hope and despair swirling all around. It was like some kind of ballad, I swear to God. You wouldn't believe the good that was done. The evil. We were the best, and we were the worst. But now it's just gray. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Blame the war. Blame the DBs. Blame apathy. However it happened, we've lost what made us powerful. We've forgotten how to dance. The wonder of seeing someone try to destroy everything for reasons we can't understand. The stakes so high you can't even breathe. We've forgotten how that feels. We've forgotten. But today, we remember. And just then, the camera guy's like, holy hell, boss. And they turn around, and he says, right on time. And I'm sorry, Daredevil's outfit just looks like it was straight off of Temu at this point. He has been through some serious stuff. But Bullseye takes the shotgun and is like, may I? And his lackey says, be my guest. Just let me get a piece of him too. I owe this guy. And as he goes to pull out another gun, as he charges towards Daredevil, Bullseye says, so do I, and shoots him right in the back. In some ways, I owe him everything. Feels good. Doesn't this feel good? And he tells the cameraman, keep that camera steady, or you're next. The crowd's gonna wanna see this. And as Bullseye says, all right, old friend, let's give him a show. Daredevil's having some self-dialogue. He says, he's acting like this is all just entertainment. Maybe it always was. What are you doing, Matt? Bullseye doesn't listen to pain. This won't. And just then, his power turns off. Where is he? Where is he? And then it comes back and he's getting kicked in the face. And he continues, break him, shatter his skull. God help me, he's right. This does feel good. And now bystanders are tuned in. They're like, what are they doing? This some kind of stunt or something? And another says, don't know, but don't you want to see who wins? And Bullseye says, not surprised you got the drop on me there, Daredevil. It's these shakes I got. Came a while back. Not the fighter I was. I had to rethink all my techniques. Used to be, I could shoot the wings off a fly. Still can. Just takes a lot more bullets. And again, the powers turn off. Move, Matt, move. Don't be where he wants you to be. Block them. Sense them. Dodge. Wherever they are. You are, and again, his powers turn off. Damn it. It's okay. You're okay. But needles? They barely got through the suit. That won't, and they shut off again. Can't stand up. Poison? Poison on the needles? And Bullseye says, didn't think this would be over so quickly. A little disappointing. And he picks up the shotgun and continues. But everyone says, endings are hard. Can't make everyone happy. Be honest, pal. Isn't this the moment you were hoping for when you put that suit back on? I get it. Who wants to wither away when you can go out with a bang? And the audience is going crazy. They're like, he's gonna do it. My God, he's gonna do it. And just then, a shadowy figure comes over the screen. And they say, what the hell is that? Bullseye turns around, but it's too late. He's grabbed by Punisher. He says, Castle, you made it. Glad you're here, old buddy. Just what we needed. And Punisher's not in a talkative mood. He breaks his arm and then smashes him into the ground. But he doesn't even let him go yet. No, he throws him into the lights. Bullseye says, you still got it, Frank. Don't let nobody tell you different. And Punisher charges towards him. But Bullseye takes the electrical wires and throws them and shocks the machine. He says, but I do got things to do. We can play more later. And Frank's like, nah, we not getting no later. He jumps out the machine. I'm talking no legs, no arm, full dive. And he goes, good God, man, know when it's over. What do you think you're gonna? And just then, Punisher takes a bite out of crime. Literally. He bites his nose off and spits it out. I mean, pure chaos. Daredevil grabs him from behind and is like, Frank, stop. And his power shut off. And he's like, no. And we get a flashback image of Kingpin, who we know from issue 1 is dead, as Daredevil visited his grave. And Kingpin says, save me. And we can see Punisher standing there. And he says, no. And his power shut off again. But he still has Punisher in that chokehold. And he says no. And we see the flashback image where Punisher is the one that killed Kingpin. And as Daredevil says no one last time, he lays Punisher's lifeless body onto the ground. Just then, Tyra comes behind with the shotgun and says, why did you stop Frank? The other one, he's a bad man. He hurt me. He hurt lots of people. He deserves what he gets. And Daredevil says, you're the girl. The one Steve Rogers was protecting. You're the girl with the light. He died for you, Tyra. People like you and me, with our gifts, it's our job to help. We don't kill people. We stop other people from being killed. That's what we do. Sometimes we fail, but we always try, even with people like him. What is it gonna take, Bullseye? It doesn't have to be like this. Where are the bombs? And Bullseye says, I'll show you. I want to thank you, old friend. And just then, he looks over the building to the crowd of people, and he says, we brought so many people here tonight. Not sure I could have done it on my own. They wouldn't have come if it was just me. We did this together. And again, his powers black out. And Daredevil says, what does he can't see? Powers are almost gone. Can't wait. What is he? No, I need to see. Need to. And as his powers come back, he says, oh God. And he loses his power again. And it comes back and he says, stop. And he charges at Bullseye. And as they fall, Daredevil's talking to himself. He says, this is it. This is why. The reason I'm here right now. Thank you. And before he can get the last word out, they crash into a vehicle. And the detonator goes bouncing. And he says, I'm sorry. I wish I found another way. And Bullseye says, don't worry. I liked it. We both did our part. People will remember, but the show must go on. And he spits out a tooth that cuts Daredevil's mask, bounces off of a camera, bounces off the back of a sign, and hits the detonator. And he says, Bullseye. And the whole city goes up in a bang. And all of a sudden, that smoke we seen in issue 1 is back all over the city. The crowd is running crazy. Someone says, oh God, run. Another says, no, not again. Please, not again. And Daredevil says, silence. The moment before people understand the scope of what just happened, before the pain hits, before the loss, before the fear, it will only last long enough for them to draw breath. And then they will begin to scream. I know what was in the bombs. I can smell it. Another dose. My punishment. And it looks like a piece of metal has gone through him. And he says, okay, through the gut. No fixing this. Not in the best hospital in the world. This is it then. Maybe one move left, Murdoch. Maybe. What's it going to be? The explosion knocked the power out. No lights. The survivors can't see. They're terrified, lashing out, hurting each other. How can I help them? How? You gave me back these gifts. Please, show me how to use them. Help me see. Head stuffed with cotton from the blast. Fractures, losing so much blood. Agony, agony. Radar senses is there, but just chaos. Everything around me, broken, ruined. There's nothing, just destruction. No, a path, a way up. Is this why you filled my life with so much pain? Am I just another job? Or was there a lesson I was supposed to learn? Was it just how to keep going? If that's all, then I was a good student. My body's ripped apart, mouth full of blood, fingers shredding. The only reason I'm still climbing is because I refuse to fall. I don't know why I've had this life, but whatever your intentions, the lessons I learned ended up being very simple. There's always more pain. There's always more light. Tyra, she says, go away. You're a bad man. Frank was helping me and you hurt him. And he responds, my name is Matthew, Tyra. Sometimes I am a bad man, but I think I've done more good than not. I always try, always. That's what I want to talk to you about. You heard the explosions, Tyra. A lot of people were hurt. The power is out. It's dark. No one can see. Everyone is frightened, panicking. I can hear them, hurting each other. There's rubble, collapsed buildings, people trapped. The helpers can't get through. It's going to get worse. This is why we have our gifts. For times like these, you'll remember this moment for the rest of your life. The choice you make right now will define you forever. Do you hide in the dark or step into the light? I know you're frightened. It isn't fair that this landed on you. You've been called, Tyra. And he pulls the piece of metal out of himself and says, it's never fair. And just then, Tyra starts floating into the air and starts glowing. The light, the moon. No, there's someone. Angel, an angel. And as Daredevil lays there dying, he says, I was wrong, prideful. I thought I was chosen, but no, I was just an instrument. The light shines down. The violence stops. They realize what they were doing to each other, to themselves. They lift their hands again, not to hurt, but to help. They can see. I hear them speak their voices rough in awe as Tyra's light burns away the poison in the air. But they have touched it. or it has touched them. It is inside of them now. And many of them are changed. Their feet lift from the ground. Their bodies take on new shapes. Strange energies churn within them. They cry out with joy and astonishment. And yes, fear. But they will find their way. We all do. This is all part of God's plan. I can see it. And just like that, Daredevil's story doesn't end with a victory. It ends with sacrifice. Every choice, every failure, every step he took led to this moment. And now, it's Tyra who has to carry the light forward. It's a reminder that sometimes being a hero isn't about surviving the fight. It's about making sure someone else can. So what do you guys think? Was this the only way Daredevil's journey could have ended? Or was there still another path? Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments because I want to hear what you guys think about this one. If you haven't yet, make sure to check the link tree for our merch. It's the best way to support the channel as we keep bringing you even more content like this. And if you've been rocking with this series, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on the bell so you never miss what's next. And as always, thanks for kicking it with Keeping It Comic. I'll catch y'all on the next one.